Good evening. Can we ask for more beautiful place, venue, right? This is just ridiculous. Just ridiculous. Another round of applause for Rita, because she doesn't get enough applause and love for all that she does for the community and all that she does, as you all know, to make people's lives better. So thank you seriously for all you do and for inviting me and giving me the incredible honor and the great blessing of being here. So thank you so much to you all for being here tonight and for hopefully enjoying what is a night of inspiration, a night of hope. And what I'm going to do tonight is really take you through a journey. I'd like to take you through a journey that really shows you how incredible our country is. It shows you how incredible it is when you believe in positive thinking and faith and really being able to have determination through perseverance within life. But thank you so much for being here. Now, before I begin, I'd like to ask each of you a favor, if you would. If you can, please follow my lead. Very nice, very nice. The reason that I have you do that, the power clap, is because if I had just asked one row of you or one section to clap, it would have made pretty minimal noise, right? But by asking all of you to clap at the same time, look how much noise was made. Look how much impact was made. By working together and by being unified and by being one organism, one unit, we achieve so much more. And that's part of what tonight is about, is showing how so many things in life work together and how we can achieve more good for society by working together. And one of the things that I hope to also illustrate, and I'm going to give you the chance to also ask me some questions afterwards, so kind of have some questions stewing in your head as well. One of the things that I really want to show you is how some of life's greatest things come through adversity. Some of the greatest things that we have in life come through some of the biggest challenges that we have within our world. Now, one of the things that I really, find interesting is the fact that adversity can really fuel us, adversity can really sustain us, and we get so busy within our lives, within our worlds, within our deadlines, within our meetings, within all the places that we have to go, that I think sometimes we forget to just stop and just realize how incredible life is. So if I want you to walk away with just one thing tonight, it's this: life is amazing. Life is incredible, and anything is possible. We just need to kind of stop and take a look at all the good things around us, even when things kind of seem at their bleakest. I'm going to ask you to do me one more favor. If you can you please raise your left arm? Your left arm. There you go. Keep it up. Keep it up. Can you also please raise your right arm? Your right arm. There you go. Now wave your hands in the air and wave like you just don't care. All right, I love it. I love it. Everybody's into it. Okay, keep them up. Keep them up. Can you also please raise your right leg? Your right leg. There you go. All right, that's what we call a little Carlsbad yoga. I love it. Okay, go ahead. Put them down. Imagine, as I get untangled here, imagine if you went through life missing what you just raised: your left arm, your right arm, and your right leg. As Rita mentioned earlier, I'm Alex Montoya. I live in downtown San Diego. I am an author. I've published 4 books. I am a speaker. I am a business owner. I'm the proud owner of A-Motivational Communications, which specializes in motivating and inspiring people. I am an immigrant. I was born in Medellin, Colombia, and I am a dreamer and a believer and someone that really truly believes in the greatness of this country. I am also a triple amputee. When I was born, I had a rare birth defect that led me to be born missing both of my arms and my right leg. Some of you in the room may remember the medicine thalidomide. I was a thalidomide baby. Thalidomide was a medicine that was banned in the United States, but before the side effects were known globally, expectant mothers would take thalidomide in the 60s and in the 70s in order to fight morning sickness. And I was born in 1974. I was one of those who was a victim of thalidomide. Obviously, my mother had no idea what the side effects would be, and so I was born missing my 3 limbs as a result. Now, It's really interesting because when I was born, the first thing that the doctors and so many people within society told my parents in Medellin, Colombia, was that because this infirmity and because this adversity hit our family right away, that they should have small hopes for my future, that they should not have great hopes for the things that I was going to accomplish. After all, since I was born missing both of my arms and my right leg, I should say, it really seemed impossible to have high hopes for my future. At the time, there were no special medical programs or special education or things like that for kids with disabilities in Colombia. So therefore, the odds of me really having much success were low. And that's what the doctors told my parents. You should probably keep your expectations low for your son because he just has too many things to overcome. And how many times are we told that within our worlds? You should keep your expectations low. You have too many challenges, you have too many obstacles, you have too many either infirmities or just other things that are going to prevent you from succeeding. Let me tell you what my parents told the doctors, and then they ended up telling me when I was old enough to know and understand this. They said this. They said, as long as in life you have three things that you rely on, you can achieve anything within this world. As long as you have a strong faith, as long as you have a strong education, and as long as you have a strong support system, you can achieve anything you want in this world. Not only did they emphasize that I was not to feel sorry for myself and that I was not to have low expectations for myself, they saw pretty quickly that I was a kid that had pretty much everything else together. I wouldn't shut up. I loved to talk, I loved to laugh, I loved to tell stories, I loved to do all that. I was a pretty precocious kid. And they said, yeah, this kid may have some physical things wrong with him, but he's okay everywhere else. So they made it a point to emphasize that not only did I not have permission to feel sorry for myself or to have low expectations, they were going to have even higher expectations for me and for my life and for the things that I was going to achieve. Part of that, and we'll get to it a little later, but part of it involved the aspect of giving back. Part of it was you are going to succeed within this world, and it's not only expected, but it's a moral obligation that we're going to give you to make sure that you give back to within your world as well. So that was always drilled down to within me. Now, by the age of 4, I was allowed to come to the greatest country in the history of the world, the United States, courtesy of the Shriners Hospital. For those that might not be familiar with the Shriners Hospital are an organization, bless you. Shriners are an organization that will take kids from Mexico and Latin America and really all over the world. And if they are either burn victims or if they have orthopedic needs, they will bring them to this country and take care of all of their needs up until the age of 21 for free. And so I was fortunate that I already had some family living here in Southern California, and the Shriners allowed for me to move here to the States in order to get my medical needs taken care of and in order to be able to go to school and get my education needs taken care of as well. Now, let me tell you the importance of kind of being able to understand not only the importance of patriotism on being in this country, but just the importance of words. The importance of words and what they mean within your world. Before I came to this country, my father sat me down and told me, I hope you realize what an incredible opportunity you have that you get to move to the United States. Now, at the time, I had my parents, and I had an older sister, and I had an older brother, and he said, we're all going to miss you. We're all going to miss you tremendously. But this is such an incredible opportunity for you to go to the States and be able to go to school and be able to receive new prosthetic arms and a prosthetic leg. I just want you to know that this is a wonderful, wonderful opportunity. This will change your world. My father was a very ebullient, gregarious, outgoing man. And he always said, use your joy and use your passion for life to show people what can be. Use it to show them the possibilities within this world. Make sure that you educate them and that you change their lives. Now, that's pretty heady stuff for a 4-year-old to hear, right? But it resonated with me. It resonated with me, and it really taught me that I was on a mission. that as soon as I reached the US, as much as I looked forward to going to Disneyland and meeting Mickey Mouse, I knew that I was on a more serious mission along with that. The first thing that happened when I arrived to the States was that I received my prosthetics. Now, I'll explain to you how they work. I actually have a strap harness that rests on my back, and whichever way I move, my shoulders will actually move the strap harness that pulls everything else. So I'm going to move to the side here a little bit so hopefully everybody can get a good side view. If you notice the cable on my prosthetic arm, you'll notice how when I pull my arm downwards, the strap harness that I have on my back will pull on the cable and will make it so that the cable itself will move. When I pull downwards, the strap pulls the cable back, the cable is attached to the thumb, and it makes it so that the hook itself will move. When I move my arm in the opposite direction, it makes it so that the elbow lock, and you kind of hear a rattling in there, is what makes the elbow itself move. My prosthetic leg that I have, which is my right leg, is actually powered by a hydraulic knee, meaning whenever I step down, the hydraulic knee will actually lift me up so that I'm able to walk. I had to learn how all of this machinery and all of these mechanisms worked in order to be able, no worries, I'm not here. So I had to learn how to be able to use all of these things and be able to learn how they all operated and functioned within each other in order for just the basic functions of them to operate. So I had to learn how to move my shoulder. I had to learn how to move my elbow. I had to learn how it was all connected to the cable itself. I had to learn how the cable was connected to the thumb. I had to learn how the leg worked and how stepping down properly would make for the hydraulics to make sure that the leg would work. Although those did come on the leg, they came a little later. The sophisticated advancements on the leg were a little bit later. However, so the whole key was that I had to learn how all of this stayed connected, how all of these machinery, all these parts stayed connected. I also saw how that was the same in life. I learned very, very quickly how the lessons that I was learning from day one all stayed connected. I learned, number one, that the only way that I was going to be able to overcome my adversity and overcome my challenges was to have a positive attitude. I had to learn to accept the fact that I was going to be looking a lot different than everybody else, and I had a lot more challenges than everybody else, and it was something I had to accept. I also had to learn not only to accept it, but to embrace it. I had to learn to be able to say, you know what, I've got these challenges, it's going to teach me perseverance, it's going to teach me determination, but I have to have a positive attitude about it. I need to embrace what it is that I have and move forward from there. I also saw the importance of a good sense of humor. I learned to be able to, make kind of cheesy jokes. Like whenever somebody would ask me how much I bought, how much I paid for something, I would say, well, it cost me an arm and a leg. Things like that went a long, long way to just embracing my challenges. And let me tell you, I am grateful. I am grateful that I was born the way that I was. I am grateful for the challenges that I have. And a lot of people, might find that strange or might find that a little bit odd. But for me, I wouldn't have it any other way. Why? Because the challenges that I have taught me perseverance. They have taught me determination. They have taught me patience and to be able to appreciate even the smaller things or the smaller victories in life, because I know for me, they're a little bit harder to achieve than most people. So I quickly saw that all of these things mattered and they were all connected. The same way that my prosthetics were connected, the lessons that I was learning also stayed connected within them. Now, I mentioned to you that one of the things that I realized was the importance of words and how important words are within our lives. I'm a big believer that words have power, words have strength. If you say that you're going to have a bad day, chances are you're probably going to have a bad day. If you're going to say that you're going to have a good day, things are going to go well. I really believe in the importance and the power of the spoken word. But I also believe that words have an impact when it comes to the things that we say to each other. The impact that we have whenever we say certain things to one another, and just how sometimes they have a longer lasting effect than we might even realize. Let me give you two examples. As I was settling into life in the U.S. and I had just received my prosthetics and I had just received, the arms and legs that really would be my future. And I was trying to just, be in this country and learn a new language and learn new customs and learn, how to get by here in the U.S. and in Southern California. Two of the first things that I remembered was, number one, going to a summer camp with my classmates at my new school. And it was really interesting because at this particular summer camp, it was a hot summer day. The summer camp itself was actually in the state of Arizona, so it was super hot. And do we have any Arizona people here? Just curious. And I was wearing short sleeve t-shirt and shorts. I mean, the kind of things that you would expect to be wearing to a summer camp. And the way that we got there was by school bus. And I'll never forget how I sat at the front of the bus, like we were talking about the importance of sitting in the front. Even way back then, I knew it was important to sit in the front and be ready. And, as we arrived, I'll never forget the school bus pulling up, and the camp director was actually waiting at the entrance, and he waited for the school bus to arrive. And as soon as we did, the kids all got up, and I was very excited to get off the bus and begin camp. And as soon as I did, I stepped off the bus. I saw the camp director directly in front of me, and he looked at me, and he looked at me up and down, and he looked at me square in the eye, and he says, wow, I wish you weren't here. I wish you weren't here. And I was shocked. I was shocked because I had no idea what would make somebody say that. He had never met me. He had never had a conversation with me. And that was his immediate reaction. And the first thing he said after that was, look, you obviously have a lot going on here. You have your prosthetics. You're going to make it so that we're going to have to give you a lot of help. We're going to have to give you a lot of assistance. We're going to have to take care of you. You're probably going to get hurt and fall down and sue the entire campsite. And I really wish you weren't here. And I'll never forget that feeling, because one of the things that my father had also said is he had kind of prepared me. He had kind of said, people are going to see you, and unfortunately the first thing they're going to see is your prosthetics. Don't ever let them judge you by what they physically see, by what they think they see. And again, this kind of went along with his show your joy, show your passion, show what you're really about. It was my first taste of experiencing what he was talking about. And obviously what he saw were my challenges, my infirmities. And so he quickly saw, the negative aspects of it. As an aside, there's times where that even happens just in our own daily world. People might look at us and might judge us in advance. Or people might make us feel like we aren't worthy to be there, like we're not worthy to be in the room or in the business. Never let yourself feel like that. Never let yourself feel less worthy than you are. So that was really my first experience feeling that. And even to this day, I can remember the hairs on my neck standing up as I felt that way. Now, fast forward just, I think, a couple months later, and also with the same group of friends and within the same time period of my life, I had some friends and some classmates who enjoyed being together and enjoyed, running around and playing and just being kids. And I noticed that one day at recess, all of them were out enjoying this beautiful thing on the playground called the monkey bars. Now, how many here, when you guys were kids, enjoyed playing on the monkey bars? Just curious. Okay, good amount of you. How many of you still play on the monkey bar? Okay, good. All right, you're honest with me. I like it. I like it, right? Hey, I believe her. I think she can. So, the interesting thing was, as my friends were all running and climbing and jumping onto the monkey bars, it was something that I didn't know if I could do. And just as an aside, never take for granted the things that you can do in life, because not all of us automatically can do those things. Never take for granted the simple everyday things that you can do, because not all of us can necessarily do them or know that we can do them. And that was my first thought, was I didn't know if the hooks that I had would allow me to climb onto the monkey bars. I didn't know if the prosthetic leg would hold up as I got on there. I just didn't know if these were things that I could do. And I went out with about 10 friends And about 5 of them told me that exact same thing. About 5 of them said, hey, you know what, this is risky, this is dangerous, we don't know if you can climb up here, we don't know if you can get up, you probably shouldn't try. They were very protective. We just don't know if you are going to be able to do this, and we don't want to see you get hurt. And how many times in life, are people ostensibly looking out for us or protecting us, but maybe they're protecting us a little bit too much, right? And then I had another group of friends, another 5, that said, hey, if you want to get on the monkey bars, what if? And I think that's the 2 greatest words in the English language, what if, because whenever you say what if, you come from a place of potential and a place of possibility. They said, what if we take your hooks and we just kind of clamp them up on the bars themselves, and we have you climb and climb and climb, and what if we take your left leg, your good leg, and we put all your weight on there, and we take your prosthetic leg, your right leg, and just kind of drag you up. And the thought or the potential plan really fascinated me. So which group do you think I listened to? The ones that said that I could, or the ones that said that I couldn't? The ones that said that I could. And I said, okay, I dig what you're saying here. So okay, what if we take the arms, what if we take the hooks, and what if we take them onto the monkey bar, the ladder, and we do one rung at a time? And I think that's kind of relevant to life. You take things one step at a time, right? So I said, okay, what if we go one rung at a time, and we climb, and we climb, and we climb, and we climb, and what if we take my good leg, my left leg, put all the weight on there, and we just kind of make sure that we drag my right leg up, and we're climbing, and we're climbing, and we're climbing, and we're climbing, and by then all the kids, the ones that said that I could and the ones that said that I couldn't, they're down below me, they're yelling, they're cheering, they're whistling, girls are inviting me to prom. I mean, it's just and so we're climbing and we're climbing and we're climbing, and they're all just going nuts. And then all of a sudden I realized, like, OMG, like, this is happening. Like, this is actually happening. And then I realized I had spent so much time focused on climbing up the monkey bars that I hadn't given enough thought to what I was going to do to get across the monkey bars. And how many times in life are we focused on one goal or one area that all of a sudden we have to make a serious adaptation at whatever we do? And I said, okay, I instructed my friends, let's take my strap harness on my back and let's raise it a little bit higher, so that I can take my arms higher and I can start moving across and across and across and across and across. When all of a sudden I heard the worst sound that you'd want to hear at that moment, which was, eh. What do you think that was? The recess bell. And all my friends scattered and ran in opposite directions. They ran this way, they ran that way, they ran that way. They all ran away, and I'm still up here by myself on the monkey bars. And all of a sudden, maybe 5 minutes later, a teacher runs out and she says, Alejandro Montoya Gonzalez. You know you're in trouble when they say all 3 names. She says, Alejandro Montoya Gonzalez, what are you doing? And I said, hey, I'm just hanging out. How about you? And she laughed and she held me down, but it taught me 3 critical lessons that I hope you'll take with you tonight. And that is, number 1, if there's ever something that you want to accomplish, if there's ever something that you want to do within this world, you have to envision yourself doing it first. And you should never let somebody else stop that vision. You should never let somebody tell you that you can't do this, or that you can't go there, or that you can't become this. If you have somebody you want to be, if you want to become someone else or just move further within your life and within your career, never let fear stop you from taking that step. Number 2, it was so important how once we got up to the very top of the monkey bars, I quickly had to make the adaptation of what it was going to take to get across the monkey bars. And it's so crucial in life to have our goals and our dreams and our vision. But I would also say it's just as critical to know when to make an adaptation, when to make a change, when to just say, hey, business is changing, or the world is changing, or my world is changing. I'm going to have to make an adjustment to be able to move and go across and complete my journey and my mission. And then number 3, there will be times where you will feel within this world and within your own journey like you are alone. There will be times where you may feel like no one understands what you're going through, like no one understands the struggle or the pain or the challenges that you have. Just know that you're never, ever alone. Just know that you always have people around that love you, that support you, and that will be there for you. But the worst thing that you can ever feel like is that you are alone and no one understands your struggle. Help will soon be on the way. And it's really important because I took those lessons and they literally fueled me for everything else that I wanted to accomplish within my life. I really wanted to make my father and my family proud. Whenever I would get frustrated, I would call home to Colombia, and my father would always remind me of those same things. He would always say, show your joy, show your passion, show people the possibilities within life. Focus on what you have, not on what you're missing, and just know that you can make an impact on their life. And he was always encouraging me. He was encouraging me all the way until I became the first person in my family to go to college and graduate from college. I went to University of Notre Dame, go Irish. I got my master's degree through University of San Francisco. One thing that I've always been very passionate about is sports, and I got to work for over 10 years for the San Diego Padres in San Diego in their community relations department. Another passion of mine has been writing, and I've always known really since I was 10 years old that I wanted to take my life and my perspective and the things that I was experiencing and turn it into a book. And fortunately, one book turned into 4 books and hopefully more. But I've been able to pursue that passion and pursue that journey and move forward on that. The greatest thing that I think that I've been able to accomplish thus far has been right after my senior year of college, I was selected to be an Olympic torch carrier. Now, anyone who has seen the torch and seen the torch relay can tell you what an incredible, awe-inspiring thing that it is. And the thing that really humbled me the most was that you literally are handed a torch and it has the same flame that is lit in the birthplace of the Olympics, which is Athens, Greece, and makes its way to you, and then you carry the torch onto the next person. And this happens all the way. This was in 1996 when the Olympics were here in the U.S. And you literally take your torch and you walk about maybe 3 miles, and you're allowed to run, walk, surf, skate, ride a horse, literally whatever you want to do, however you want to transport it, you're allowed to do that, so as long as you take that same torch and light the next person's torch. And it made its way all the way to Atlanta, Georgia, where the Olympic Games were being held that year, and made its way into the hands of Muhammad Ali, the greatest of all time. And then he lit, of course, the flame for the opening ceremonies there in Atlanta. For me to even think of any way that I might be even remotely be connected to Muhammad Ali, the greatest of all time, was just incredible, absolutely incredible. But aside from that, it really struck me because I really felt like it kind of encapsulates everything that we do in life. We've all had people go before us that have made life better for us. We've all been taught lessons and crucial things that have made our lives better, and now it's our responsibility to give it to our children and our grandchildren and those that we love, and take all those crucial lessons and be able to make their lives better as well, and encourage them to take that flame, whether they be words of knowledge, words of love, words of peace, anything that is going to make their life better. We're able to take those things and impart it onto them, and hope they'll obviously impart it onto someone else. For me, to hear those words that my family taught me and that my father taught me, and to be able to move it forward in life and be able to give it to you tonight is very symbolic. It's like being able to carry that torch of life. And that's what we are. We're torch bearers. We're torch carriers. We carry all of those things that we have learned, and we carry it on to the future and to the future generations. And so it was always very, very crucial for me. Now, approximately 2 months ago, the first week of August, I had something quite horrible happen in that I lost my father. My father was almost 80 years old. He lived a long, very joyful, very happy life. Everything that he ever taught me about living joyfully, living passionately and making sure that you impact people's lives. He lived it every single day. And it wasn't a complete shock to us because he was in pretty bad health for a while. But at the same time, as any of you who have lost a loved one can attest, it's still stunning. You know, when the moment comes, it's still a very, very stunning thing. But as soon as he did pass, I knew that he went to be with the Lord, and I knew that that I gained a guardian angel that day, and I know that he instantly was with me, and that he's here tonight. And some of you may have guardian angels that are here tonight as well. And I truly believe that they want us to know that life is all about overcoming. Life is all about seeing the good in the adversity that we have. Life is all about taking the challenges and the obstacles and making sure that they are victories for us. Life is all about living joyfully and passionately every single day to really make the world a better place. And all those lessons, it's like all those lessons that my father always imparted upon me, and that he always wanted to make sure that I learned and that I accepted and that I understood. I felt them stronger than ever as soon as he left this earth. And I really believe that he's here every day guiding me, and that he wants me to know your mission on this earth is to take whatever circumstances happen to you and whatever challenges you have, and to make sure that you make the most out of them and rise above. The life is all about rising above those challenges and not only succeeding, but succeeding for others. Making sure you serve others. Making sure that you give of yourself to ensure that other people have better opportunity as well. Now, this past weekend it was a very emotional and really touching time. You know, of course, we had the tragedy in Las Vegas, which has made us all stop and pause and just think about the preciousness of life, and truly think about how none of us is guaranteed tomorrow, and how unfortunately it takes an incident like that to kind of make us, you know, stop and take pause and think of how precious and fragile life is. At the same time, this past weekend, I got to return to my alma mater, the University of Notre Dame, and do a book signing and do a talk. And it just blew me away that here I was in a place that I held very dearly and is very sacred to me, and that I was getting to achieve my dream. You know, I had been there some 20 odd years ago, achieving my dream of going to school and being a college graduate. And here I was getting to go back and achieve my dream of speaking and of writing and being able to send my message. So it just kind of shows you, you know, life is about both things. Life is about being able to take, obviously, the bad with the good and the sad with the good. But just knowing that every single day we have a purpose here on this earth. And knowing that every single day we can't take for granted. We can't take any day or any moment for granted whatsoever. We also can't take for granted, though, if we have challenges and if we have adversity, and all of us do. We can't take for granted that, you know, those things are just there to defeat us or beat us or be better than us. You are better than your challenges. You are better than any adversity that you might face. And I really think about this every day when I think about my father and I think about the lessons that he taught me. You know, I wonder, I seriously wonder, is my father proud of me? I mean, he would often tell me that he was, and he made no bones about making sure that he expressed to me how proud he was of everything that I was doing. But you know, you still wonder, and you still kind of hope that your father and that your parents and your loved ones, you know, do feel that way about you. And I really feel that every single day he emphasizes to me this importance. And I'll close with this: that every single day we have an opportunity to make an impact. You know, a lot of people, when they see me or they meet me, they might see my prosthetics, and the first thing that kind of pops into their mind is, when you wear prosthetics, you know, what a tough deal, or what a hindrance, or, you know, what a sad thing. When I put on my prosthetics every day in the morning, I look at them as liberation. I look at them as opportunity. I look at my prosthetics that just sit at the end of my bed, and I put them on every morning the same way you do, you know, your slippers or your shoes. For me, that represents mobility. For me, it represents freedom. For me, it represents being able to move around and achieve my dreams. And it's the same for all of us. We all have, again, challenges and adversity and problems in front of us every single day. But you can't get stopped by those challenges, and you can't be limited by those challenges. Every single day is an opportunity for you to be great. Every single day is an opportunity for greatness and an opportunity for toughness and an opportunity to serve. And as you go through life and as you leave here tonight and as you resume your careers and walks in the morning, I hope that you'll recognize that within this world we live in very divisive times, of course, and very challenging times, but nothing is more important than the mission that all of us individually are on. And if anyone ever tells you that something is just too hard, the obstacles are too great, just like the doctors told my parents, things are just going to be too hard for you, too hard for your son, I hope that you'll think of me. I hope that you'll think of your friend Alex, and I hope you'll realize that life is in the overcoming and that you can do anything at all. All of you in this room were born for greatness and built for toughness. And as my father always says, you can and you will change the world. Thank you for your time.